What's up, guys? Koma here. Take two on the recording, by the way. But nonetheless, I am making a video to cover the new Splitgate 2 news. So for anyone who hasn't seen or has lived under a rock, whenever I got introduced into the MVP program for Splitgate 1, the game went down. And by went down, I mean it was no longer being developed, and instead they were shifting. 1047 Games were shifting a lot of resources into their next game, of which they have finally fully announced, and there has been a new cinematic trailer. Now, before I start, I didn't cover it, I didn't make a video on it, but yes, my name is actually in the game. And by I mean my name, I mean my user. So Koma or Koma Blader, as you know, have probably seen by my handles on my Discord name, and Twitter. So my name's actually in the game. I'm actually on the Hall of Fame, of which everyone who was nominated during the Splitty Awards was actually placed on to said Hall of Fame. So once again, thank you 1047 Games for putting my username into the game. It's really crazy. So yeah. Anyway, going on to what we got today. So this is Splitgate 2. Play together, standalone Splitgate 2, suit up, and portal into the action as an elite ace in Splitgate 2, a 4v4 free-to-play shooter redefining what it takes to be number one. Now, supposedly this game is on most major platforms. So we have it on Steam, we have it on Xbox One and Series X S, PS4, PS5, and so on and so forth. So it'll be across multiple different platforms. Now, I want to cover the trailer. However, we won't be using this trailer. Instead, we will be using this trailer. So this is the interactive trailer. Now, for a moment, I'm going to play it, but immediately I'm going to pause because it's going to let me pause it. Okay, can I just frame source? Okay, so it's paused, I think. There we go, now it's paused. So, as you can see, I frame sourced it, and I'll cover why I do this. So basically, if you're wanting to pause it and be able to slip between the different stuff in the interactive trailer, right-click it, go View Frame Source, and this very first link that you see up here, where it says player.vimo, you want to open that, and this gives you the bar underneath to be able to skip around in the trailer freely. Or if you don't have audio on the base trailer on the website, adjusting this will actually help you in that case. So, this is Splitgate 2. I think I'll have some of the audio here. I didn't check on how loud it is. Okay. Well, it's very loud in my ear, which is better than nothing. So we get introduced to the first map right off the bat, called Ozone. An arena. It didn't save it very long, did it? An arena in the center of the flying luxury yacht. Something in the sky. Wonder of the skies. So this is kind of like the stadium map of Splitgate 2, and for most people who don't know what stadium is or what it was, stadium was kind of like the typical base map that you would always see most people running around on. You know, it was like the default map choice whenever you loaded up custom games, and I would assume this is kind of relatively the same style, just a bit more fleshed out in most cases. So as you can see, we get some more stuff, and this is actually really cool. I forget who pointed this out, but I believe it was River in the Splitgate map builders Discord, as they were working on another map. But they pointed out this skybox is suddenly different here compared to the last shot, which was very sunny. So they assumed there's some type of like changing dynamic lighting of the map, which, if that's the case, really interesting. But we just really have to wait and see whenever we actually get our hands on the game, or if they show us gameplay. But yeah, some more stuff of Ozone. You can see all the portal walls pop up, and it's really interesting. So we get this shot here, and I can click on this, and it'll pull up the Meridian in the three factions. So we have Eros, Meridian, and Sabrask. And it says three factions to choose from. Dash around the battlefield as an agile Eros, control the chaos of the as the tactical and time manipulating Meridian, or run guns blazing with Sabrask's raw power. So this will actually come in handy very soon, later in the trailer. But quickly, I want to take note here in this area that Meridian has multiple people actually part of its crew. So we have different names actually placed onto these like loadouts. So we have Ada, Kara, Shinji, Mira, which we actually see in the trailer, FaZe, which we also see in the trailer, and Proto. So this is kind of like their get ready station, I would assume. And you can see Meridian's like little quote here: work hard, play smart. And so moving into this shot, so this is Bolt, and we can click on here, and it actually shows us his number and who he's sponsored by and who he represents, and he represents Eros. One of the playable characters when you choose to play as Eros, and his quote is, "I knew I'd win, but I didn't know I'd do it so fast." And you can see his gear. He's kind of the face of Splitgate right now. So you can, I'm going to click out of this and let him do his little talking.
I don't worry about anything.
And it immediately cuts to most of the little stuff that he's gonna say. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it down in here, because it is really loud for me. So hopefully there will be enough.
Love me or hate me, you definitely don't.
So yeah, the interactive trailer just gives you additional voice options and the whole 9 yards. And here we actually see the different roles that you can actually play as from the different factions. So you'll have Meridian is considered the support role. Eros is considered I believe, the portal role. So their entire gimmick is basically throwing down as many portals as physically possible. And Sabrask roles is complete utter defense. So we actually get some more portal wall shenanigans going on here, and it says with liquid petroleum surface, this quote-unquote gate is ready for a portal. So these haven't been portal walls this entire time. This has apparently been a gate. Don't know how that makes sense, but we've always called them portal walls. And so basically this allows the players to actually, place their portals on these things. So I can close out of this, continue. As you can see, Mira, or she's part of Meridian, as I stated before. One of the playable characters as you choose to play as Meridian. Efficiency is a choice today and a habit tomorrow. So she's pretty much all about time manipulation, and you'll see some more of her shenanigans later on into the video. So she's doing her training,
if you're not
and you
willing
can
to
actually
sacrifice everything, then you don't want it bad enough.
see her getting geared up. And again, there's another dialogue option, but I'm going to skip that for the time being.
Victory becomes.
And then we get introduced to Sabrask's Rhinoc. So I think he is just kind of a rebrand of the original Rhino skin for anyone who has actually played the first Splitgate. And his quote is, "When cowards hide from sight, heroes stand and fight." And I believe he was part of the military previously before joining the Splitgate games. So yeah, he's actually really interesting.
A choice. Either take it.
And you see here, he kind of does the slam. Now, I believe the SIM is also part of the kit, but I have no clue yet, and we'll talk more about that later. As you can see here, Mira picks up a gun. I believe this is a shotgun, but I'll cover the shotguns and everything later on. And Aramid is mentioned here, and you can also see it's on the gun, which weapons so advanced you'll beat tomorrow's opponent today. So I believe this is a shotgun. It's some type of like energy-based shotgun, probably plasma if I were to guess, but I don't exactly know. And again, there are many sponsors in this trailer. Can you spot them all? Assuming that there are more than 3 sponsors that we get to play as, we haven't seen them yet. But Aramid is definitely another one of them. You'll see another gun from Aramid later on in the trailer. So we will continue to play it. You see Rhinoc loading some sort of Sabrask rifle. I believe this is the assault rifle, as this is the way that it's loaded and the way that it's framed. I think is some sort of like rifle, or at least an assault rifle, as you see it fire full auto later on in the trailer. Now, every faction has a different jetpack, but they all work the same. So this is kind of leaning into the old school Splitgate stuff, as you know, it's your typical jetpack. They all have just different designs. As you can see, Mira's like kind of like forearm kind of glows with her. I guess I would have assumed it would be her identification, as I think I see an M right there. So you see Bolt's jetpack with his number 76. And then we have a little pop-up here, and it actually gives you some about the companion app. I won't cover the companion app right now. It's very buggy right now, and just not too much, but when you download it, it gives you the basic run through of the app and introduces you kind of to the stories kind of stuff, and it also gives you these cards, of which later on can actually be connected to your account for rewards, so that's really cool. Highly recommend picking up the app and pick up some free loot when the game comes out.
Gotcha.
And you can see Bolt messing around with Rhinoc a little bit. But I also want to keep note of this gun that he has. And also, Portal to Victory. Portals are only possible with a material called Perolium, which is used to coat surfaces in a suspended quantum field that is conductive to portal creation. Via firing of a portal gun, also called a splitter. Take notes, there may be a quiz. And it looks like we have a little like mascot here right in the middle of Ozone, so that's really cool to see. And you can see the crowd behind surrounding the map. Now, first of all, we see this. This is Sabrask's smart wall. Specifically, I see Sabrask is because later on I'll cover a lot more about the abilities, but Sabrask only characters have access to this smart wall, meaning that if you play Sabrask, you're going to have this as one of your abilities. So basically, you can throw up a shield, you can shoot through the shield, and any bullets that come towards the shield will be blocked. It's the equivalent of Halo Infinite's drop wall, basically. So you throw it down, and basically you can shoot through it, but they don't come back at you, or you can't be hit by bullets being fired at you as long as you're behind it. So you see Rhinoc landing, and then right here, it's just so Bolt has a twin sister, given like a little bit of a Star Wars reference. We don't know this is Bolt's sister. Supposedly the number on the character is, I believe, 67. So basically Bolt's number being 76, hers is, or theirs is 67. So it would only make sense just to kind of relate the two characters together. But going on, we get to see Hypersight. It's also worth noting that the thing that we just saw about Bolt setting down 2 portals is, I believe, one of his abilities. Not totally sure what it's called, as we never really get the explanation behind those. And then we have Hypersight from Meridian. So only Meridian style characters have this ability, which basically is the equivalent of basically Halo 4's Promethean vision, so you can see enemies through walls, and apparently it works for your entire team, compared to the. I think the Promethean sight was only part of your personal vision, and then also we see Phase here with an aramid weapon. Now, I believe this is just some sort of like plasma rifle, as most aramid weapons, as far as we're aware, are different like plasma-based weapons. So you can see Phase here, who's also part of Meridian, is shooting some sort of plasma weapon. It looks like a rifle frame, so I could only assume this is the plasma rifle. And then you see Rhinoc coming up behind with his assault rifle, blasting Phase. And then we see the shock disc, which it says arrows can stun enemies and close portals with this handy throwable. So this is like a pseudo EMP grenade. Now, supposedly, I did hear that EMP grenades are returning because one of these characters drops EMPs when hit. Now, as far as I'm aware, this shock disc seems to hit the enemy and actually kill them, or defeat them. However, you don't really die when it comes down to the Splitgate games, but supposedly you can just stun them. So I don't know if you can actually kill a player, but also closing portals, very handy. I'm just curious to know how efficient it can be, I guess. And so we actually get this thing here, and this is the time dome. And it says, life getting too hectic, chill out in the time dome for a breather. Now, I believe this is another Meridian-based ability, considering Meridian has been stated to be a lot of like time distortion shenanigans, and this would definitely fit in it. But it's worth noting that here Meridian isn't like labeled, so this is most likely a neutral equipment. For most people who don't understand Splitgate 1 was all about just portals and guns. That's literally all it was. So a lot of these abilities are basically brand new, and it would only make sense if they start adding equipment to the game. So we have the basic abilities of the characters and not the characters, but the factions, and we also have the abilities of the neutral equipment. So again, we have the time dome here, of which we'll see Mira come in and swiftly clean up. Now it's worth noting that these guys here have. So these guys here. So we see Phase again, and he's holding something very small. So this is another aramid weapon. Actually, we see via a sponsor banner from one of the earlier teasers. And then it looks like some sort of other AR of sorts. Maybe this is like an AR SMG hybrid, considering how small it is compared to the AR. But the magazine is actually on the front of the gun here. So this really, I don't know what weapon this is. It's not the BR, because I think we saw the BR earlier, and you can see another weapon over here, which also seems to be like another little bullpup. So a lot of stuff is going on in these trailers. It's a lot to keep track of. But as you can see, this time dome spins whoever enters it, and you can see Mira coming in with what seems to be like the shotgun that I think we saw earlier. It's really hard to tell whether or not that's a shotgun or not, but the way that she basically breaches that corner makes me think it's a shotgun. And then we see Bolt chasing this character, and then we get the Red Rocket's Glare, where we actually are introduced to the rocket, which actually fires 3 rockets, which I believe that was the way that it worked in Splitgate 1, I think. I don't remember. It's been a little bit. And then, of course, we have the song. And then we see this sick weapon in this gun and a pole that pops up right in the middle of the shot, which I'll have to pull up on YouTube to be able to get like a full half-decent shot of this, because this is sick. But this gun splits into 2. Now, this is crazy, because the only game that I know that does dual welding in like a multiplayer setting is actually Call of Duty. Halo hasn't done it since Halo 3, I believe. So this is actually relatively big. Or no, I don't think it was Halo 3. I think Halo Reach could do it. I don't know. It's been a long time since I played Halo, especially some of the older games. But this little SMG, I believe it is actually really neat because like it's like one SMG and then it just splits. Like that's all it does. As you can see him doing his jump. And then we get the Splitgate 2 logo. And then it'll cut to this shot, of which we get to see the little BR that I think he was holding earlier. Again, it's a bullpup. I would assume this looks like a BR because it has a scope. And you get the QR code, which the QR code can be scanned for the app. So if you're looking for that, that's where it is. And you can see Mira shooting that rifle that I thought was a shotgun, unless this is a different weapon. No, it's not, because you can see the little rivets up there. So some way this is some sort of like air mid rifle that is like super like long range and simultaneously short range. I have no clue what this thing could be. Muting chat. And then you can get a better look at Rhinox's rifle right there too. It's actually a clean little rifle. It's really cool looking. So you can see him get up, and you can hear it more. And I really love their dialogue here.
A world full of portals, and you're always late.
Hey, yeah, I'm not in a rush for my own funeral. Lock in.
And there's one more, which is probably my favorite meme I think I've heard so far.
Muting chat.
No, you're not muting chat. I'm muting chat. Muting chat.
Muting chat.
Muting chat. Muting chat.
Muting chat.
Muting chat. Muting chat.
Muting chat. Muting chat.
Muting chat.
So some really cool stuff going on with the team, and seeing them all in action. As you can see them running and jumping and finishing off the trailer, saying wishlist now and the different platforms and coming 2025. There's a lot to cover and there's plenty of more, but I'm really excited for this. As you can see now, the characters have their helmets off. There's just so much going on with the trailer, and I am glad to see Splitgate back in full swing. And yeah, I have much more to cover that I want to talk about, gun-wise and map-wise and stuff that they don't even show in this trailer. So yeah, I will end this video here and probably do like another follow-up video somewhere down the line. But that is where I will call this video. Now, okay, well, that's just about the end of the video. If you guys did find it informative, or if you want more of this kind of like breakdown style content, you can always like, share, and subscribe. It always goes a very long way to supporting the channel, and I am very interested in where they are actually taking this game to, because so far it is a very interesting take. Definitely no hero shooter, which I'm glad about, and I'm really interested in these characters too, because they have a lot of personality put into their characters, and there are even more characters that we don't even know yet. So yeah, I'm very interested to see how this game is going to be built from the ground up. So yeah, if you want to help me and follow along, and you want to like, just kind of just follow me and going through and breaking down everything, feel free to just subscribe and turn on the bell. I'll always be covering it. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Adios.